How are you forgiving this person? How can you move on from this? How can you just be like, oh, this person is just, that's who they are, and take it at face value? But I don't have to stick around to see what you're trying to do. Welcome to the Essence of True Self podcast, where we affirm I am the son of my creation. Here I focus on mindfulness, limiting belief, self-care, spirituality, and overall becoming your true self. I'm your host, Oriana, a book, tea, and self-development lover. I give you tips and tricks of what I learned on my self-development journey so you can apply to yours. If you're interested, keep listening. Hey, welcome back to the Essence of True Self podcast, and I'm your host, Oriana. And I hope your week, your day, your evening is going pretty well. If not, of course, I'm seeing you love and light in this time. And I also do readings, and I do coaching and mentorship, and pretty much do TikToks and all that good stuff. If you want more tips and stuff like that, check out all that in the description box below. And I would love for you to support my channel and like, comment, and subscribe to push out the content. It helps me a lot. And I thank in advance. And as usual, we're going to get into the breathing and saying our affirmations. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And now we're going to get into our affirmations. I am the son of my creation. I am the son of my creation. I am the son of my creation. I hope that help you be grounded and present into this present moment, and just keep you aware and conscious of what you're taking in today and being receptive to the messages I have for you today. And as you can tell by this title, it says, I forgive you, but access denied. And I also want to talk about this a lot because I have gone through some things in my life, as we can tell. And a lot of times I used to hold on to that resentment and anger and frustration a lot. And that was pretty much holding me back in my process of healing, growing, and elevating to the new level of my life. And forgiving people is not for the other person. It's really for you to release those burdens that you've been holding on for so long. And I've been seeing this trend of going around, be like, I don't forgive you. And I respectfully disagree, because I feel like we hold on to that unforgiveness a lot. It's like, I forgive you, then you forget about them. But it's like in the back of your mind, it's holding into your subconscious, your unconscious, of what that person did to you. And you can also forgive people when you just forgive them and being clear in consciousness of yourself. For me, I had a big, huge mother wound, and the way I react towards her was really of something that I didn't want to let go of, and how she wasn't necessarily there for me. And learning how to forgive her, because we all humans and we all doing this human thing and trying to figure out what life even really means, and understanding that she was human, I am human, but I get the rights to feel how I feel, but I get to release that and forgive her and move on with my life. I don't have to hold on to that anger, that resentment, that doubt, that fear that holds on to me because of what somebody else did to me. And That's when you take accountability of like, am I holding on to this for the sake of just saying, oh, this person did this to me? Or am I holding on to this just to keep self-loathing and playing the victim in my life? And when am I going to take the accountability to release that and live my life to the fullest capacity? And I feel like when we hold on to things, we're not allowing ourselves to fully love and embrace the life that we want to live. But when I say forgive people, it don't mean they have to come back and have access to you. When I was in my situationship and I was just like, you know what, I'm done, and take my time and process to heal and release the certain thing that certain person did to me, it's just like, and I also did to them, because it's not always about like what other people did to you, pretty much for you, and it's pretty much also what you did too. Taking that accountability to be like, okay, how did I continue to play this role? How can I keep playing along with this? How can I change this? How can I release this? But I can also deny the access of that person, that thing, or that situation to come back into my facility and constantly sucking on my energy. I don't want that. I don't want that necessarily thing to suck on my energy and constantly take away from me and constantly feed this idea that I made up in my life that this is the reason why I am the way I am. And that's not the way to live, okay? I feel like when we forgive people, we just release it in fully capacity. When people do releasing ceremonies, healing ceremonies, they are releasing that, forgiving that version of themselves, but also forgiving that person too, to be okay. Like, okay, this person did fucked up shit to me, but I'm not gonna allow that to hold me back from my greatness. And a lot of times we hold on to that in a spite of that person. But at the same time, you continue to give that person or that situation energy without you even knowing it. You might be doing it for a good reason, but really, you still hand out your energy like it's a fucking card or something. Like, forgiveness is a choice. Everything we make in our life, is a choice. And where we are right now is the choices that we made in the past to lead us here today. And learning how to be like, okay, I forgive you, but I set this boundary. You don't have access to me anymore. If you're not willing to change and heal and elevate in your best version of yourself, what is the purpose of us even being in connection? And I'm not mad at you. I'm not angry at you, but you're not going to have access to me anymore. You're going to have to find your own way to deal with your stuff. I'm not going to be always your excuse to continue to do the same thing, your enabler. I'm not going to let you. And I'm not going to allow myself to be in that situation either. And it takes a lot of self-compassion, self-forgiveness, strength, faith that things will work out when it needs to work out. Instead of having this idea of, oh, this person did this to me, so I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Like, it's too much energy. It takes a lot of energy to hold on to things, but it takes just enough energy to release that, to live in your purpose, your true authenticity. And I would say I was one of the persons, as a Scorpio moon myself, I did hold a lot of grudges in my lifetime towards people that made me feel some type of way, and revenge was like the top of my list. And after a while, I'm like, this is not really serving me. This is not really fulfilling me. What does fulfill me? Asking myself the necessary questions to get out of certain situations and circumstances that doesn't align with who I want to be in my lifetime. And asking myself, who am I being right now? Am I being my hurt? Am I being shame? Am I being guilt tripped because this person made me feel some type of way? Or am I just going to be like, that person don't deserve my energy, but they're going to hear what I got to say. And I'm going to draw that line with that boundary and saying, okay, I'm not dealing with this anymore. You're going to have to figure it out. You're going to have to find a way to live your life the best way you want to live it. Because I can't be that person no more. I can't be the stepping stool that you always step on when you need something. So now your access has been revoked from my energy. And being okay with be like, okay. And when it comes to this, when you healing and forgiving people and denying access to people, it will take a lot of grieving, especially if this person means so much to you and they took up a lot of your life. It will take some time to get used to just being like, okay, this ain't working for me. But the grieving process and learning how to cope with certain things, I do talk about this in coping episode, like healthy ways to cope, is somewhere in my timeline, so please check it out. And it's just like when we over here trying to control everything and not trying to forgive and hold on to this is when surrendering, trust, faith, understanding, and compassion come in. And it's easy said than done. You know, it takes a lot of work to get to where you are. But when you forgive people, they don't have that power over you anymore. We always give people power, situation power, but how are we handling that in our day-to-day life? Consciously, subconsciously, asking ourselves the question to be like, okay, am I actually forgiving this person, or am I just using this as an excuse to be like, to do whatever I want to do? To, what is a good example? This person told me I wasn't going to be able to achieve my goals. And they was like, you're not going to be able to do that. That's just something, it seems out of reach. You know what I'm saying? And they downplayed you. They abused you. They said negative things to you. And you're like, you know what? Out of spite, I'm going to do it. And unknowingly, we're giving that power away to them. But like, oh yeah, she did this out of spite because of me. And some people really be like, oh my gosh, she really did this for me, and feeling like they are the chosen one. But really, it ain't panned out how you thought it was panned out. You be like, what the hell? This is not what I want you to feel. I want you to feel terrible. But like, we can't control what other people do. We can only control what we do. We can only see how we portray life, how we feel about life, how we go into life day to day, every day. But how are we changing that? How are we going to fix that? And I don't necessarily like to say fix, because we not necessarily always need to be fixed, but to heal it, nurture it, care for it. And the it is you. So what are you doing to be in a forgiveness mode? I'm always going to say address it, process it, feel it, and release it. And also dealing with the copinism when it comes up again. Because we always give the strength to be like, I don't think I can handle this. I don't think I can do this. But really, you can handle anything if you put your mind to it. If you put your mind, your soul, your spirit, your energy towards it. Because where your energy goes, where your attention goes, energy flows. So how are you changing that? What are you giving your energy to? What are you doing necessarily to improve yourself? What are you doing to be like, okay, this person don't have access to me? And another example is, oh, I don't mess with this person anymore. We don't talk anymore, but you still befriend them on social media. Let's talk about it. Befriend them on social media and be like, oh, I just want them to see how I thrive in life. But me, I'm a blocker, so I'm going to block you. You're not going to even get the amps of thinking about, like, what is she doing in her life? You probably have to make a separate page to even know what I'm doing with my life. I'm not going to let the world see. If you necessarily doesn't add to my life and you serve the purpose in my life, you're getting blocked. Because what is the purpose of you constantly watching me? Because they get the satisfaction to see me win. And I don't want you to see nothing. I want your imagination to think. Because I don't want you to know what's going on in my life. Okay? And I don't know if that's just petty of me, but at the same time, I just feel like nobody needs that access. But access denied. You had played your trial and you didn't use it wisely. And now I'm revoking your access to me. So having that satisfaction of people seeing you win and people still having access to you to be able to message you, I don't think that's actually you forgiving them. I don't think that you actually are healing that version of you, they'll be like, okay, we can come in contact again. I mean, the only way they're gonna probably get in contact with me is probably see me in real life or making a separate page. If we make a second page, that's how I know. That's how I know it's really deep for you. For me, after I block you and did my grieving, it is what it is. You live your life, I live my life, and you don't really need to know what I'm doing with my life. And I feel like people be like, oh, I just want you to see me win. Like, but what are you getting out of that? Validation? Because that's what I see. And I'm not trying to judge you or anything like that, but that once you say access denied. Unfriend them, block them, remove them. If you like extra like me, and mute they messages because they ain't gonna be able to get to you when you doing your best. And people can send you evil eye. I talked about this in 2 episodes, a couple of episodes back, videos back. People will send you evil eye. And we have monitoring spirits that will watch you and constantly see you thrive, but they can still be wishing on your downfall. So I always advocate blocker, unfriend, mute, because you don't deserve the energy that I put out into the world. And I don't know what you're doing with my energy. I don't know what you're doing with the videos and photos that I post. So I forgive you, but access denied. So not everybody needs to see you thrive. Not everybody needs to see you be the best version of yourself if they never added to your life in the first place. If they didn't bring you value, not physically, not financially, but mentally, spiritually. Like, what are they actually doing for your life? Is they bringing you out of your path of what you really meant to go down? Or are they leading you somewhere else? They be like, oh, you should do this. Oh, you should do that. Or this what we can do together. Like, things that is more than what the norm is smoking and drinking and talking about people and gossiping. How can you shift your life for the better? How can you forgive people that doesn't serve you anymore? How can you revoke that access to you so you can actually thrive to the best of your ability? When I tell you, when I just said I'm done with my situationship, that's when I started seeing myself for truly who I am. That's how I thrive to be the best version of myself. That's how I constantly show up and be myself. When somebody's adding value to your life, you're not drained. When somebody's taken away from you and doesn't add anything to your life, you are drained. So, what are you doing? How are you forgiving this person? How can you move on from this? How can you just be like, oh, this person is just, that's who they are, and take it at face value, but I don't have to stick around to see what you're trying to do. And that is not your job to stay there and see if that person going to thrive or not. If you're not willing to stay, if they're not willing to grow or heal, they have nothing to do with you. So forgiveness is letting go, releasing, surrendering to what that person did, but also forgiving yourself in the process, showing yourself compassion. But you don't have to stick around for other people to heal and grow and be a bigger person, a better person. That is not your job. Like I avidly say, get somebody else to do it. But I just hope this video or this podcast help you in any type of way and bring you some type of clarity of like, people don't always need access to you, and forgiveness is your win, not the other person win. And when you don't forgive, you hold on to the resentment, pain, guilt, anger towards that person, place, or thing. But yeah, I just hope this video help you and help you see a different perspective and help you grow within your journey. And if you like this, of course, like, comment, subscribe, share with other people that might need to hear this message. And I always want you to know I always love you. You're not alone. And if you haven't already, book a reading, book a coaching, mentor if you feel drawn to do so. And check out my other social medias. But until next time, family.